Hands raised high in pure delight, thankful whispers in a gentle breeze. Grateful heart with such sweet.
I hope this day finds all of you doing well. Good morning.
Thank you, Lord.
And you know what time it is? It's time for our daily bread. However, before we get there, I should turn this down. And my name is Kevin Elkins, and this is Decisions. Why do we call it that? Because everything we do requires us to make one. And even if we decide not to make one, well, we just made one. Good morning to you. As you rise and shine this morning, temperature outside in the capital city, believe it or not, it's already 78 degrees. Temperature high today of 92 degrees. Pretty much a little cooler than it was yesterday, but not much. For the rest of the day, partly cloudy, partly to mostly cloudy. Scattered showers here and there, thunderstorms developing. Around noon, high 92, and the wind's light and variable. Chance of rain today, 40% or 44%. On tonight, a little bit more of the same. Some clouds, a stray shower or two. Thunderstorm is possible, low around 73 degrees. Winds light and variable. Variable, that's the word we want to look for. Tomorrow, a 40% chance of rain, partly cloudy, early scattered thunderstorms developing late afternoon, around high of tomorrow, around 90, a little cooler, 91 degrees. Good morning to you. And that's your weather for the capital city as we start this day off with our daily bread. A word from on high, something that'll change our perspective or give us a new one. But either way, it's good for the soul. You never can get too much wisdom, can we? No, we cannot. So good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins again. This is Decisions 2.0. Because 1.0 left. So we'll be back uno momento after this word from on high, and talk about. And plus we got Rita Pearson today. Rita Pearson. Yeah, we got Rita. Dr. Joe. Rita Pearson is on tap for today. Every child needs a champion. It's about school, and it's about the great job that some teachers do, and then there's the other job that other teachers do. But it is a great profession. Unfortunately, we've taken a lot of the, we've taken a lot of the authority from our teachers out of our classroom and giving it to somebody. I'm not exactly sure who. But it does seem as though we've given a lot of that authority away, and teachers can't hardly run their classrooms anymore for the politics of education. But Rita Pearson is going to tell you about that, and a couple other things. And maybe if we listen to her, maybe we listen to her and implement some of the things that she tells us about today, we can get our schools back into where they need to be. I'm thinking. What you think? Yeah, I'm with you. But anyway, we'll be back. Don't go anyplace. Interesting day today. I got to stay off next door. I am playing Rita Pearson today. I got to stay off next door though. I was so ticked off last night at next door, the neighborhood things that I don't know what to do. But we are creatures of habit in our world. We'll talk a little bit about that. So what happened on me on next door yesterday? I'll explain it to you. And then yesterday, you got to stick around for this one. I can't believe I did what I did, but I paid a cost for it, for doing it. So hang loose. Our daily bread's next. And then Miss Rita Pearson. Every child, not just one, but every child needs a champion. So hang loose. We'll be back. Good morning, Dr. Joe. The Elk Dog is in the house. I love that name. You gave me that name, Elk Dog. That kind of makes you look like you kind of tough. And I'm a wuss most of the time. Except yesterday, my son turned the phone over in my face. And then I was reminded, he's not my little boy. So I was headed to his house to smack him. And right when I got outside the gate, right outside I calmed down because I thought he could smack me back. So I turned around and left. Anyway, we'll be back right after this. Blessings upon you on this morning. It is a great day, a fantastic day to be alive.
Thankful for life and the love we share.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's reading, titled Your Life's Passion, was written by David Roper. One evening, years ago, my wife and I were making our way down a mountain trail, accompanied by two friends. The trail was narrow and wound around a slope with a steep drop on one side and an unclimbable bank on the other. As we came around a bend, I saw a large bear moseying along, swinging his head from side to side and quietly huffing. We were downwind, and he hadn't detected our presence, but he would soon. Our friend began to rummage around in her jacket for a camera. "Oh, I must take a picture," she said. I, being less comfortable with our odds, said, "No, we must get out of here." So we backed up quietly until we were out of sight and ran. That's how we should feel about the dangerous passion to get rich. There's nothing wrong with money. It's just a medium of exchange. But those who desire to get rich fall into temptation and a trap and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge them into ruin and destruction. Paul wrote in 1 Timothy 6:9, "Wealth is only a goad to get more." Instead, we should pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. These traits grow in us as we pursue them and ask God to form them within us. This is how we secure the deep satisfaction we seek in God. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from 1 Timothy chapter 6, verses 6 through 12. But godliness with contentment is great gain, for we brought nothing into the world, and we can take nothing out of it. But if we have food and clothing, we will be content with that. Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil. Some people, eager for money, have wandered from the faith and pierced themselves with many griefs. But you, man of God, flee from all this and pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. Fight the good fight of the faith. Take hold of the eternal life to which you were called when you made your good confession in the presence of many witnesses. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, teach us to pursue righteousness and godliness over riches on earth that leave us feeling empty. May we be content with what you've given us and be good stewards of all that you've entrusted us with. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay, we got it. We got it. We love our armed forces. We love them. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, we especially love the paratroopers. Okay. I mean, everybody else is kind of like secondary, but we love our armed forces. Yeah, I heard about that, Mayan. I heard about that, and I had an opportunity to talk to her yesterday. As a matter of fact, I had and I'm going to bring her on. As a matter of fact, I've been counseled probably not doing this, but I don't really think it makes a matter. I think people are going to vote who they want to vote for. Um, I don't really mind having any of them on. It's no different than any other forum where we get together and we tell people what we think and let the people make their own minds up about who they want and stuff like that. I'm not at all um, scared of that kind of thing. As a matter of fact, the more people you hear from, the better. Because I was on front page, whatever that neighborhood thing is. Uh, well, I don't know any of the candidates. It's 15. Hell, with 15 people running and you don't know of anybody, then my lord, you haven't tried. You haven't even tried to get to know anybody. I mean, there's 15 people running, 14, whatever. One of them should not be running because they don't really live in District 4. I mean District 3. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not. I'm going to see if anybody else can figure that out. But we're just going to leave that alone. Anyway, so if you're not interested, just say I'm not interested in the race. Don't say that you can't find anybody. Hell, is there any corner around here in District 3 you can't see a sign of somebody out there? And me, hell, I've been on the air for 30 years. If you don't know who I am, then you probably don't know who the hell the mayor is of the city. Actually, I'm the mayor of the airways, of course. But you probably don't even know who the mayor is. Hell, I doubt if you've been downtown. I mean, come on, man, give me a break here. And these people spending lots of money to try to get your attention. And if you don't pay attention, then listen, that's not our fault. But I'm gonna get into that and other things a little later on. Um, I'm gonna get into that a little later on there, Pastor Knight. Well, I'm not going to name who it is because if people's integrity and honor is not there, then okay, y'all vote for who you want to vote for. But however, yeah, yes, and I'm going to have Michelle on sometime next week. I mean, and I'll have them all on. I actually can put 10 people on at one time, if they want to join us. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that yeah, I know what you mean there, Tony. I know what you mean there, Pastor Knight. But they say snitches get stitches. Okay, I don't really want no stitches. Okay, because yesterday I'm going down the street passing out my little flyer things. I'm walking right along, just having a great old time, and all of a sudden I come to I got to get to my thing here, Rita Pearson in a second. But I'm walking down the street. I'm going down Yancey or Verona, whichever one of the streets are, and so I see a big brick, big old brick, and I'm reminded of my childhood days where I could jump over these things and keep on moving. Well, I jumped. Oh yeah, I knew I was going. I thought I was a young paratrooper. I was just gonna do a PLF and hit the ground and move and get on back up and keep moving. It didn't exactly work out that way. I hit the ground and my arm scraped the pavement and I felt like I had been in a fight with somebody. Now I'm not a chicken. I'm not chicken. I'm a lot of things. You won't find a paratrooper that's a chicken. But am I a little wiser now than I was years ago? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So anyway, let's get to Rita Pearson. I may have to stay on a little longer today because I don't work on Fridays, but I got a lot of things to talk about today. So let me get to Rita Pearson because it's important that we hear this at least once a year before school starts, and She seemed to be a wonderful lady that cared about her job and cared about the kids that she was given to teach. And I doubt if any of the kids that ever listened to her, does the chicken have lips? I doubt if any of the kids that ever listened to Rita Pearson lives were not changed. From my life has been changed. My perspective on public school has been um, changed listening to her. So no doubt. Also, we are going to have a we're going to have a conversation today at some time about black culture and about American culture. And there's a lady. I don't know. I don't know if she's a law student or a lawyer or not, but she made the case. She made the case of America being guilty of all the things that they say they're not. And I still love this country. I've been to some. Never been any place that I said I think I'm gonna stay here. I never been any place. Say I'm gonna stay right here. Korea, Europe, Central America. Never been to any place that I'm just gonna stay right there. Yeah, I ain't going home. No, haven't found a place that good yet. So America is a great country, but we are not a perfect one. And I think what we need to do sometimes is acknowledge that we're not perfect. And I think in some instances we are trying to work on some of our problems. But I'm going to let you hear what this lady had to say. Not right now. Right now, it's Rita Pearson. Every child needs a champion because they do. Because we do. They need somebody to look up to. Okay? So, we'll be right back after these messages. So y'all hang loose. Every child needs a champion. One of the greatest teachers, at least from our perspective, that ever lived and never taught anybody's child was her. Especially if she implemented the things that she said that she implemented. She'll make you think. And if you're a teacher, and again, we appreciate our teachers. We really do. We appreciate our teachers. Sometimes, though, I don't think teachers really appreciate us at times. But that's a whole different ball game. So we shall return after this. And again, I may have to stay here a little longer today because I got some stuff I want to say. And them people on next door just absolutely piss me off. But anyway, even my son made me mad yesterday. He hung the phone up on me, and so really, I'm headed over there. I am gonna whoop his butt. Okay, I'm just gonna go over there, yank him by the collar like I used to do, and smack him around. But right when I got outside the door, reality hit that he's not my little boy anymore. He's a grown man. And so so he don't even know I was there. So I just gonna walk. I'm gonna back out a little bit here and just, going back to the house. So there comes a time in your life with your kids, you realize that they're not your little kids anymore. They're grown men, they're grown ladies. They can do whatever they want to do, but don't ask me for no money. Anyway, we'll be back. All right, but he is stronger than me, and that was the only reason why I didn't smack him. Matter of fact, the only reason why I didn't even knock on the door because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. Okay, I was going to knock him out, but sometimes you gotta caution is the better part of valor. Anyway, good morning to you. I hope this day finds you well. Rita Pearson, every child needs a champion. We'll be back.
I have spent my entire life either at the schoolhouse, on the way to the schoolhouse, or talking about what happens in the schoolhouse. Both my parents were educators. My maternal grandparents were educators. And for the past 40 years, I've done the same thing. And so needless to say, over those years, I've had a chance to look at education reform from a lot of perspectives. Some of those reforms have been good, some of them have been not so good. And we know why kids drop out. We know why kids don't learn. It's either poverty, low attendance, negative peer influences. We know why. But one of the things that we never discuss, or we rarely discuss, is the value and importance of human connection. Relationships. James Comer says that no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. George Washington Carver says all learning is understanding relationships. Everyone in this room has been affected by a teacher or an adult. For years, I have watched people teach. I have looked at the best, and I've looked at some of the worst. A colleague said to me one time, they don't pay me to like the kids. They pay me to teach a lesson. The kids should learn it. I should teach it. They should learn it. Case closed. Well, I said to her, you know, kids don't learn from people they don't like. She said, that's just a bunch of hooey. And I said to her, well, your year is going to be long and arduous, dear. Needless to say, it was. Some people think that you can either have it in you to build a relationship or you don't. I think Stephen Covey had the right idea. He said you ought to just throw in a few simple things, like seeking first to understand as opposed to being understood. Simple things like apologizing. You ever thought about that? Tell a kid you're sorry during shock. I taught a lesson once on ratios. I'm not real good with math, but I was working on it. And I got back and looked at that teacher edition. I taught the whole lesson wrong. So I came back to class the next day and I said, look, guys, I need to apologize. I taught the whole lesson wrong. I'm so sorry. I said, that's okay, Miss Pearson. You were so excited. We just let you go. I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wondered, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? And it was difficult. It was awfully hard. How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? One year I came up with a bright idea. I told all my students, you were chosen to be in my class because I am the best teacher and you are the best students. They put us all together so we could show everybody else how to do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really? We have to show the other classes how to do it. So when we walk down the hall, people will notice us. So you can't make noise. You just have to strut. And I gave him a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress, and places to go. And they said, yeah. You say it long enough, it starts to be a part of you. And so I gave a quiz, 20 questions. Student missed 18. I put a +2 on this paper and a big smiley face. He said, Miss Pearson, is this an F? I said, yes. He said, then why'd you put a smiley face? I said, because you on the roll. You got 2 right, you didn't miss them all. I said, and when we review this, won't you do better? He said, yes, ma'am, I can do better. You see, -18 sucks all the life out of you. +2 said, I ain't all bad. For years, I watched my mother take the time at recess to review, go on home visits in the afternoon, buy combs and brushes and peanut butter and crackers to put in a desk drawer for kids that needed to eat, and a washcloth and some soap for the kids who didn't smell so good. See, it's hard to teach kids who stink. And kids can be cruel. And so she kept those things in her desk, and years later, after she retired, I watched some of those same kids come through and say to her, you know, Miss Walker, you made a difference in my life. You made it work for me. You made me feel like I was somebody when I knew at the bottom I wasn't. And I want you to just see what I've become. And when my mama died 2 years ago at 92, there were so many former students at her funeral. It brought tears to my eyes, not because she was gone, but because she left a legacy of relationships that could never disappear. Can we stand to have more relationships? Absolutely. Will you like all your children? Of course not. And you know your toughest kids are never absent. Never. You won't like them all, and the tough ones show up for a reason. It's the connection. It's the relationships. And while you won't like them all, the key is they can never, ever know it. So teachers become great actors and great actresses, and we come to work when we don't feel like it, and we listen to policy that doesn't make sense, and we teach anyway. We teach anyway because that's what we do. Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion? Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Is this job tough? You betcha. Oh, God, you betcha. But it is not impossible. We can do this. We're educators. We're born to make a difference. Thank you so much.
We're born to make a difference. Oh, yeah. I bet you out there, I bet that all of you have an individual in your life that you have never forgotten. I have two. It's not, I don't mean your parents or your mother or anything like that. Yes, Don.
I love me some Rita in the morning. Hey,
Yeah.
Gabby, you had Rondé Mitchell on yesterday. You were happy he explained the money thing to you.
Okay.
You said that, right?
Yeah.
He said we're going to put the $375 in the bank. We're going to draw interest off of it.
Yeah.
You were happy with that, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we borrow $1 billion and put it in the bank? And this thing would double the money we made.
Well, again, because you have a limit of how much you can go to the
You might
bank.
want to look up Ponzi scheme.
Well, to you, everything's a Ponzi
Borrow
scheme.
money and make money by putting it in the bank. That's the most ignorant thing I've ever heard in my whole damn life. And you want to be on the council?
Well, then you need to tell the
You
person.
You
need
can
to tell.
borrow money
Wait.
and put it in the bank and make money.
No. You cannot. When you get the money, does not the money have to go into the bank?
Yeah, but you start when you get the money paying interest on the bank. You have to pay interest on the money. The interest on the money is more than the bank will give you when you put it in the bank.
And again, but it's not like a
Are you
credit
that
card.
damn dumb?
Yes, I am.
Why don't you borrow $1 billion then?
Because you can't
Why
borrow
not
$1 billion.
borrow $1 billion? If you can make money by putting it in the bank.
You can't borrow $1 billion. They won't. The bond market won't let you do that.
How much can we borrow? Let's borrow the max and put it in the bank because we're gonna make money off of it.
Again, if the money
Can
comes,
we do that?
if you would shut up sometimes so somebody else can get a word in.
I'm too damn intelligent to listen to what you're about to say. How about we decide what we're going to do with the money before we borrow it and not start running up the interest?
And again, there's nothing unreasonable about that. But again, if you can get $15 million, the money's already borrowed. The money's already borrowed.
If you get $15 million, it means you're paying $20 million on interest on the money.
Well, I don't believe that to be.
I don't know where you really should talk to you math because that's damn dumb.
Yeah. Well, again, then you need to talk to the people down there who said that yesterday the money was going in the bank. Now, I've heard that a bunch of times. Now, unless everybody down on Capitol Hill's idiot works for the mayor, that's what I heard yesterday, and I believe it was alleged that. From the chief financial officer, what's her name, Betty Bevo or whatever her name is. Again, if you're gonna borrow the money, then you might as well make a little money off of it at the same time. Good morning, Simpler Days.
Good morning, Mayor. You sound loud and strong this morning.
Good. Except for him, that's the only guy that irritates me.
You sound like a politician today.
Good. That's since I am one now.
Just don't use that word integrity with politicians.
You know what? I as I walk the streets of Montgomery and in this shortened election cycle, why does everybody think that if you are a politician, you're no good?
Well, it take more than the time allotted we got for me to explain that to you.
Well, if you don't run, okay, if you think that most politicians are crooked, which some of them I think probably are, but then you run, be the change that you want, which is what I'm doing. Don't whine about they're this, they're that, they're this. Every last one of us have done something in our lives that we shouldn't have done.
I've rubbed the elbows enough with them, and I've already been deliced. So
okay,
I don't want to get back in that anywhere around that bunch.
Can you wait a minute? Anyway. Can you think of one local politician that, and I can think of one local politician that has went through office, kept his word, and stepped down when he said he would. And until this day, you never heard anything bad about him.
Well, I can go back but everybody has stepped across the line, tiptoed around, and that's how politics work.
Yeah. It's the art of compromise. It's the art of. But I'm gonna tell you, the one guy in this town that has, and there's probably more. So I don't want to leave anybody out. But since I know him personally, I help send his kids to school. Dick Brubaker is an individual that you haven't heard any bad thing about. He says what he meant what he said. He said, "I'm gonna run for 2 terms. But I don't get it done, I'm stepping down," and that's what he did. I don't know anybody else with a higher approval rating than Dick Brubaker.
Well, I'll tell you another one. He hasn't stepped down yet, but Sheriff Derek Cunningham is another one.
Right, haven't heard anything bad about him either. And so, I mean, we always act like everybody that gets in this business is bad. No, you can't blame us or them for people who've done rotten things. Stop telling politicians when they go to the bathroom it don't stink, and they won't get that attitude. But you keep.
Well, just give us a straight answer. Yeah, just give us a straight answer, and quit trying to do the shell game. Put the T over here, and no, it's not under that one. But changing gears, why do you think the state of Alabama won't let us vote on a straight, clean lottery bill?
Because, okay, are you sitting down?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Okay, they don't work for us.
And that's the exact same reason they won't put that.
That's right. They don't work for us. I don't know who they work for, but they don't work for the people that they say they represent. And it's as easy and simple, because if that were true, everybody in this state wants the lottery. 90% of the people want the lottery. So I think they work for the Poarch Creek Indians or somebody in Mississippi or some, but they do not work for the Alabama people. They don't work.
Well, whether it's the city of Montgomery and their arena deal, they don't want to lose control of it. See, they don't, and they can control who plays and who doesn't, who has a chair at the table and who doesn't, who gets to go to the pie. But if they let the voters do that, then they lose control of it.
Well, and what we need to do, we need an investigative reporter, a real good one who has the resources to find out who our representatives, who they actually work for down there on Goat Hill, because it is not us.
They work for lobbyists. That's who they work for. The lobbyists pad their saddles. But hey, I had to get up and take a sleeping pill last night. You had you on my mind. You got me crosswise there with what you told me about yesterday. About you remember what you told me? You said that I was impacted, and you were talking about the teacher this morning, what effect she has, and you said, you were probably impacted by bad police officers back in the day, and
right.
So let me share something with you. We all are impacted by people along the way that affect who we are, and just like with your mother, she impacted you, and just like with my mother, my mother, my dad died when I was 5 years old, and she was left with 4 kids, and she had to go to work in a church as a cook, and she met this black lady who was working there with the janitorial staff. And so she went up to her and asked her, and she said, "How much do you make?" And she told her, and she said, "Well, I will double your salary if you will come work for me and keep my kids while I work. And you can bring your child to our house if you need to, and I will make arrangements to." Back then the bus road ran right by. But she did, and I was impacted by that black lady, Miss Brown, and she set me in motion. And my mother set me in motion. But my mother passed before I retired from the police department. But the lady that I had stand up beside me is my other mother before the whole room, and I explained to them she was my other mother, and she raised me. And I call her every day. She's 87 years old. I call her most every day and talk to her. Check on her, go over there and make sure she's all right, because she was my other mother. But she instilled in me certain things. And I carried those with me to the police department. And there were other people, not everybody down there back in the day wrote tickets for people walking black. Sheriff Cunningham was a motor man. He wrote tickets. His chief deputy, they rode together. They wrote tickets. But all I'm saying is you can't stereotype everybody under one umbrella. And I tried to make sure that the things that she instilled in me that I carried the rest of my life. And I tried to treat people the way I wanted to be treated, and you could ask any of the people that ever worked for me. That's what I did. I led by example, and I stuck up for them, and I made sure. But I just want you to know, the first fist fight I ever got into was with James Gaston, and I lived in a neighborhood on Marshall Street over there beside Lanier before integration was cool. And James Gaston hit me so hard with a horse apple, I saw stars for a few days.
Okay, that's a southern thing. What's a horse apple?
It's one of those green, they call them mock oranges, one of those green, big old, they look like a softball, except they're green. Horses used to eat them, and but if you throw one at you, and if you're playing baseball with them, they break open when you hit them. But James hit me with one, and I hit him with one back. And then we got in a fist fight, and then I realized that black folks and white folks believe just alike. And I talked James into coming to work with the police department, and he and I were lifelong friends until he passed. But you know, you just can't stereotype everybody that wrote tickets back during that day. Some of those tickets were really good tickets. Some of them were DUI tickets. Mm-hmm. Some of them were tickets that people deserved and should have gotten more. But it just tickles me now that he's changed positions now, and now he's going to hold everybody accountable. But there were some people that needed to be held accountable and pay those tickets back in the day.
And that's true. And again, no statement is exclusively for everyone. There's always exceptions to the rule. But I just don't want us to deny, because you were talking about the mayor letting people off for tickets they'd had down there for 20 years and stuff. And I did suggest that when I first got on the air, after talking to so many young people who are now in their 30s, still don't have a license because they never can come up with the total amount of money they need to after paying rent, taking care of their kids, trying to do child support, whatever it is they got to do. They never were able to come up with the money. So that means that every time they got stopped, they got another charge, okay? And so they were never going to pay these tickets off. So why not give them a clean slate? And just a point, went down to court one day with a guy who worked for me. He had owed $5,000 in tickets and fees. So I talked to the judge at that particular time. Wistery, I think that was his name. I said, you know, I'm 50 years old. You got a little age on you. We all have done something that we shouldn't have done. But I said, this young man carries a 75-pound sack every day to Trenton, trying to learn how to do HVAC. He gets on the bus. Sometimes he misses the bus, so he walks home with a 75-pound bag like it was a rucksack, okay? This is the kind of young man that we need to help, regardless of what he did when he was real young. We need to cut these kids a break because everybody did something dumb. And what Wistery did, I didn't think he was going to do all that. But he did away with all the fines and everything this guy had. And now the state didn't give him a break. The state said, well, you need to pay that $200 and something to get your license restored, which is cool. And we helped him do that too. We did that. So I'm just saying there are some good people out here, even in politics. But we have to remember just because we get into a position, sometimes we're in those positions so we can help, as opposed to just sticking it to everybody. And I'm just saying, you know, we just gotta. Sometimes we gotta do a better job. Mm-hmm.
So you think 20 years from now, for somebody that didn't pay their tickets today, 20 years from now, that we should cut them loose?
I think that we're not the same person 20 years to the future as we were in the past. We can't be. Life won't allow us to be the same person.
So you don't think there was never a person that just said, I'm not going to pay these tickets, I don't have to, and I'll duck and dodge as long as I can, and maybe it'll go away?
Well, I know when you have to decide the light bill, gas, take care of the kids, or pay a ticket, the ticket's going to lose every time.
Or gamble, or
right. You shouldn't gamble.
Go buy drugs, go buy alcohol, and you're not going to have money to pay tickets. I agree with you. Have a good day.
Wait. Or take care of your kids.
Or take care of your kids.
And there's a consequence for all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a consequence.
Can't pay, you can't say.
But 20 years is a long time to, you know, if you rob a bank, you know, there's a 7-year, statute of limitations We can't get off from under a ticket, and I got caught in that's junk too. I got to Alabama in '91. I had left Fort Bragg years ago, right? I had forgot I'd even been there. Guess what? They suspended my license one day, and I said, "Well, why you suspend my license? I never got a ticket in Alabama." Well, because in 1992, the president, Bill Clinton, signed a compact with every state to honor another state's hold on your driver's license. So I had to go down there. So almost 20 years went by, and so now they're gonna stick it to me. Now how come I can rob a bank and get out from under it in 7 years, but I can't get off from under a ticket?
Well, driving that dually in the Army was different.
No, this was just my civilian car. But I'm just saying, if we can get out from under a bank charge, we ought to be able to let a ticket ought not be the demise of our futures.
Well, I saw on many occasions a judge dismiss tickets.
Right.
I saw Judge Knight. Judge Knight. Remember Judge Knight?
Is that John Knight's daughter?
That was his ex-wife.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Female. Yeah, and she would give them every way in the world to pay a ticket. She would let people out of jail on the weekends to go work or go work their job and then come back in on the weekends. She would do anything and everything to help them, and they still wouldn't pay the tickets.
Well,
and she asked me one day. She said, "What do you think? What do you think would be a better way of trying to get them to pay the tickets?" And I said, "Judge Knight." I said, "You know what? You're the judge."
Well, one thing about it, you can't pay a ticket if you don't have a job, and if you're in jail waiting for the ticket to pay the ticket, it's never going to be paid.
No, and you can't pay your ticket, just like you can't pay your light bill, you can't pay anything else if you're spending your money on junk.
Totally agree. But in the hierarchy of what's important, most of the time I'm going to take the rent, the mortgage, groceries, buy shoes for the kids, for the ticket. Now I'm gonna pay for, if I'm still driving down the road and I act stupid and the police pull me over, I'm gonna pay for it one way or the other. I know.
Well, Mayor, if I would have pulled you over, I would have let you go, because I said, you got too many excuses, you got too many lines, I got to let you go.
Well, I'm glad we never had the opportunity to meet, to have that exchange. I tried to pay most of my tickets I got. I've only got about 5 in 30 years, so I'm doing pretty good, I think.
You're doing pretty good, man. Have a good day.
Okay, appreciate it. All righty then. The world is an interesting place. If you want to give us a call, 521-2963. Now, getting back to some other things that I want to talk about. There's a lady, and I want you guys to listen to this. There's a lady who called herself Putting America on Trial. And she did a video that was absolutely interesting. Let me see if I can talk to this person right here. Good morning, First Sergeant.
Good morning, Councilman Elkins.
Yes, good morning to you.
I'm still practicing.
I understand.
Councilman.
Yeah.
Councilman.
Yes.
Is it a fair statement that since you've been in District 3, have you been in District 3 the whole time you lived here, since 1990?
Actually, I have, but it wasn't called District 3 then. It was called District 2.
But it's the same part of town.
Right, same part of town, right.
So you've lived in that area since 1990, since you got here.
Since 1991. So.
But now that you're running for councilman, you're actually walking that district and seeing parts of that area that you haven't seen in 30 years. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement. I didn't even know some of these places existed.
But you've been in that part of the city for 30 years. So now that you're walking the ground because you're running for councilman, things are being exposed to you that haven't been exposed prior.
That is true. That is true.
So if I can extrapolate that, you think there's people that are in Montgomery that have been there their whole lives and haven't seen parts of Montgomery?
Oh, absolutely. 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 We've got people in this city, and I would imagine in every city, that's never even been outside their neighborhoods in 10 years.
Okay. And I wanted to preface my call with that foundation because I ride this city weekly because I'm insuring all parts of the city. And if you would listen to a certain segment of your audience, you would think that Montgomery is going to hell in a handbasket.
True. That's true, and it isn't. I ride this. I've ridden this city for years too. Every place from Greystone out there in the exclusive neighborhood of Monticello to Wind Lakes, Third Bridge, and places that other people don't know.
So let me cut across the field. Mm-hmm. If you have ridden down Atlanta Highway recently, there's two large neighborhoods going in. As fast as they can build the houses, they're selling. Go down Atlanta Highway, past Publix. On the left-hand side, there's two large neighborhoods going in. One of them is D.R. Horton, one of them is Louder. People are moving. Go down, that's one area. Go down Bond Road. There used to be a field with posts, used to have hats on the posts. Do you remember that area?
No.
Down Bond Road. It used to be a big field there, and they had fence poles, and every pole had a baseball cap on it.
Well, I didn't see that. I know there were some cows when I first got here. They were riding around someplace.
They're building homes there, Kevin. As fast as they can build those houses, they're selling. Go down Taylor Road, take a left, like you're going to Park Crossing High School, in the New Park area. They're building homes there. As fast as they can build those houses, they're selling. I'm going to take you apartment complexes. You go to down the East Chase where they have Walmart at there, of Chantilly. They're building apartment complexes. $1,800, $2,000 a month. Pre-leasing.
Which is not made for folks.
But my point is, they wouldn't build it if there were not residents to occupy.
Right.
You go by AUM, take a right past the CVS store there.
Right.
They're building a huge apartment complex there.
Oh, that's what's being built there. Okay.
Kevin, they're building houses in this community. They're building apartment complexes in this community. But there are people that constantly get on here and says, everybody is leaving Montgomery. Well, who's buying these houses?
Yeah, I don't believe everybody's leaving Montgomery, but I do believe that the word I don't know exactly what the word means anymore about affordable housing. I don't exactly know what that means because the guy on Social Security, now that I happen to be one of them Social Security recipients, I don't know where they expect people like that to live because they can't pay.
But I just told you, as fast as they build these homes, somebody is buying them. You aren't out buying them because you in the sunset. You in the fourth quarter, as Coach told Bills. You in the fourth quarter of your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think.
But your son, Zarel, is in the first quarter of his.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And let me give you a piece of advice that I was given.
Yeah.
Your role has changed with that young man. You're no longer his provider. You are his advisor.
Yeah.
So when you change roles from provider to advisor, they can take your advice or they don't have to.
Yeah, they don't have to. And I found that out yesterday, right when I pulled up to the door to smack him for hanging the phone up on me. Then I remember. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's your role has changed. So you're no longer his provider.
Yeah, that's true.
You are his advisor, and he can choose to accept your advice or not. Move on.
That's right.
But I just want to tell you, sir, there are a lot of great things going on in this city.
Yeah.
But just like you lived over there in your neighborhood for 30 years, and you didn't recognize things in your own neighborhood, but since you're putting boots on the ground and you're walking, your eyes are being exposed.
That is a great point to make because if you don't play baseball, you don't know what's on the field.
So, if you're not riding this city, seeing all the things that are happening, you will listen to people like, certain callers, but I'm telling you, realtors are making money. They're selling houses as fast as they can build them. Yeah. Insurance agents are insuring homes. These builders, all these trades, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, painters, roofers, there's growth going on in this community. But if you put your head in the sand and just only see the wrecks, you don't see all the cars that are going by that are not involved in accidents. Thanks for taking the call, my friend.
All right, appreciate it. And I think the caller made a outstanding point. We only know what we know. We are only familiar with the places that we go. We don't know, because I have to tell you, I'm looking at District 3 with an appreciation that I have never really had for it. And I got to tell you, it's a humbling kind of thing. Yes. Yo.
It's a good thing that you did change your mind about yesterday about with Z.
Yeah, I know.
Because he was going to tattoo your ass.
Yeah, I know he would have. So
so it's a good thing you thought twice.
Yeah, wasn't no sense wasn't no sense in experimenting with that situation.
So, yeah, because he was going to give you one of the rock bottom and the Hogan leg drop.
Yeah, I think you would have. So we're going to leave that alone.
And then people would have been riding by trying to pick you up off the ground.
Yeah, I went and bought some Crystal burgers and called it a day.
You eat that nasty Crystal?
Oh, I love them Crystal burgers, bro. Burgers.
Man, that's the nastiest stuff in the world.
They got the best French fries of anybody in town. Okay, I'm just telling you, Crystal got the best French fries of anybody in town. Used to be McDonald's, but McDonald's, they're too skinny and ain't got no skin on them. I love them fries with the skin on them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And McDonald's got all the fries with the salt on them.
Yeah, they and skinny. Yeah, but yeah, I'm glad you.
Yeah, but
I'm glad I didn't have to call you from the hospital today.
What's the name just made some good points about Montgomery Road. They all put these houses up real fast.
Yeah.
And sell them fast.
Yeah. So evidently somebody got money around here. Somebody's got
money.
I guess
so, but now with those with certain with some of those new bills, they have a lot of problems too, especially with the D.R. Horton houses. Mm-hmm. They got a lawsuit in a few states. I know Louisiana and Texas is one of a few of them.
Yeah.
Well, so I hope people are getting the home inspection done with these new bills.
Yes. All right. Hey, appreciate it. Absolutely. Oh, I will tell you one thing. I was looking at a house the other day, and I just thought I would just think about buying one. I really don't want to own a home. I just don't want to own one. I just kind of like living in one. But if you are in the market for a house, a used home, not a new home, but a pre-loved home, always hold on for 1 second. Always, check the roof. Make sure the roof, when the last roof was put on, they did not turn around and put shingles on top of old shingles. Because if they do that, and some people have done that to their other house, it costs you more money to replace that roof than it. When they put a new shingle on, when they put new shingles on your house, they should take the old shingles off and put the new shingles on, not put new shingles on top of old shingles. Okay, just always check that when you go looking at a house. All right, you always check that. Now, moving right along, right quick. I had something here that I wanted to share with you guys. There's a lady, and I don't know who. It's called "The United States is Guilty." Now, I'm only going to play this for you guys because I want you guys to I want to have a discussion about what was said in this thing, because I disagree with probably about 65% to 70% of everything that is said, but I don't disagree with everything. Okay, don't disagree with everything. So I want you guys to listen to this, and we can talk about this. And the folks at and we'll get done with this, and we'll talk to those folks on that app next door who say, we don't know anybody. There's 14 of them running. That's because you're not looking for anybody. You don't really care about who's running. Okay, because if you did, everybody's got a Facebook page. I got one. I have a podcast. I mean, I'm more accessible than any other politician has ever been. Okay, so don't tell me come on, give me a break. All right, just give me a break. So I want you to listen to this right quick. It is called "The United States is Guilty," and the only reason why I'm going here because it would be nice to see what you think about what this woman is saying. And this is the woman. This right here, the guy who came up with the video. This is the woman right here at the bottom that's actually having the conversation. So, go ahead, George. Can we do that? Okay.
To court. So you all are the jury. When I'm done, to take the United States of America.
So she's taking the United States of America to court. Listen.
Y'all know the book is called We the People, so I thought my contribution would be to take the United States of America to court. So you all are the jury. When I'm done, you tell me if America is innocent or guilty. In the court of public opinion, we the people plaintiffs versus the United States of America defendant. Case number 74-1776. Statement of fact. We the people assert that we live in the United States of America, which was established in 1776. To form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. We assert that we were promised life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and justice for all. The plaintiff further assert that said promises were distributed unequally, if at all. Evidence will show that the United States of America systematically worked to undermine the promises on which it claims to stand. Count 1, breach of promise. The founding fathers of the United States wrote, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Plaintiffs assert that the United States remains in breach of this promise by enslaving millions of black people, by declaring black people to be 3/5 of a human being, and by systematically denying black people access to liberty, citizenship, safety, education, and equal protection under the law. Count 2, theft of property. Plaintiffs assert that the United States participated in the theft of land from indigenous people through forced removal, broken treaties, violence, and displacement from the ancestral homelands. Furthermore, the United States never fulfilled the promise of our 40 acres and a mule. Count 3. Theft of labor. The United States has long proclaimed itself to be the land of opportunity, promising that through hard work, determination, and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, anyone can rise. Plaintiff asserts that the United States built much of its wealth through the theft of black labor by enslaving millions of black people, forcing us to cultivate the land, harvest the crops, construct the buildings, care for the children of enslavers, and generate enormous economic wealth without compensation, freedom, recognition of our humanity, and currently has no direct plan for reparations. Count 4, medical malpractice. Plaintiff asserts that the United States has repeatedly used the bodies of men, women, and children for medical experimentation, exploitation, and abuse without consent. plaintiff submits into evidence the experimentation performed by Dr. Sims on enslaved black women, including Anarcha, Betsy, and Lucy. Plaintiff submits the forced sterilization of indigenous black and Latina women, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment, in which black men were knowingly denied treatment by the United States government, and the failure to inform, receive consent from, and compensate Henrietta Lacks, a black woman whose cells were stolen and cultured by George Gay, who used her cells to create the HeLa line, an immortalized cell line that led to invaluable medical research and monetary gain. Count 5, unlawful detainment. Plaintiff asserts that the United States unlawfully detained millions of black people during enslavement. Also, while the United States of America publicly...
Now, don't you guys turn away. There's a purpose for this morning, and we're gonna get there as soon as she gets done with her delivery. Okay, so don't turn away. Listen to the rest.
He celebrates emancipation and simultaneously preserves the constitutional pathway for the continuation of enslavement. Plaintiff submits into evidence the 13th Amendment of the Constitution, which states neither slavery nor involuntary servitude except as punishment for a crime whereof the party should have been duly convicted shall exist within the United States. Plaintiff further asserts that the exception clause contained within the 13th Amendment enables the United States to perpetuate the system of forced labor and mass incarceration, resulting in the imprisonment of approximately 2 million people. Count 6. Erasure of history. Plaintiff asserts that the United States has repeatedly attempted to conceal and minimize its crimes against humanity through the whitewashing, distortion, and erasure of history. Count 7, state-sanctioned violence. Plaintiff asserts that the United States has actively participated in and enabled state-sanctioned violence against black people through systems and practices, including black codes, Jim Crow laws, racial terror lynchings, over-policing, and discriminatory enforcement of the law. Plaintiff further asserts that the United States has historically failed to dismantle white supremacist organizations such as the Ku Klux Klan and has, through political rhetoric, policies, and institutional silence, emboldened acts of racial violence and intimidation. And finally, count 8, murder. Plaintiff asserts that the United States of America has actively participated in, enabled, and sanctioned the murder of indigenous people, black people, immigrants, and all other marginalized communities throughout history. Plaintiff submits into evidence the genocide of indigenous people, the deaths of black people during the transatlantic slave trade and enslavement, racial terror lynching, state-sanctioned violence, police killings, vigilante violence, and the systematic neglect of vulnerable populations whose deaths were deemed acceptable in pursuit of power and profit and control. Plaintiff further asserts that the United States has not confined its violence to its own shores. Oh, no, no, no. The United States has exported death, destruction, chaos, and suffering across the globe. Ask our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Ask our brothers and sisters in the Congo. This has all been done for the pursuit of power and profit. So on behalf of we the people, plaintiff asked this court to find the United States guilty of crimes against humanity, and I rest my case.
Okay, then.
Listen here.
What say you? Again, I think some of that was hyperbole, but there was some truth. There was some truth sprinkled amongst what she said. So you can't totally disregard everything the woman said. What you want, Don?
She ought to go ahead and file a lawsuit, don't you think?
Well, that's what she's doing.
And you know what the resolution would be? We give we give the country back to the Indians. White people go to Europe, and y'all go back to Africa. That would be the resolution, wouldn't it?
Again, did you find any truth in what she said?
No, it's all stupid. It's really stupid.
Okay. Well, that's because you never. Wait. That's because you never. Wait a minute. You've never been black. Wait. No. We got that. You've never been black in America, so you say it sounds stupid.
You've never been white either. So what?
I didn't. Wait a minute. I ain't enslaved anybody.
You ain't white. You ain't had to put up with black stuff. You ain't had to get up. You ain't had to.
And the question is,
black fatigue with crap like this all the time.
And I don't normally play this kind of stuff, but she did make a point.
You ain't white. You don't have to get blamed every time a black person gets murdered. That is 99% murdered by black. But,
wait a minute. I don't know any.
No,
black
you don't know
folks.
a thing about being white.
I don't know anybody.
The people in Tuskegee were practiced on by blacks. They're the ones that didn't give them treatment for syphilis. They wasn't a white person.
What makes you think that folks
Let me just move on to Willie. Can I do that? Because that's stupid.
No, I'm talking about this right now. But come back another time. We'll talk about that. Again, I don't know where you got that from. My bad. Oh, he wasn't even heard. Oh, y'all ain't even here, did you? No, you didn't. I forgot to put him on. Good. Well, he wasn't saying nothing anyway. But what say you guys about what she said? Some of it was true. A lot of it was hyperbole. Okay, it was just it was what it was. Okay, let me see if I can get this guy, get this phone line back here right quick. Just wait a minute. Okay. Okay. Well, call me back, whatever the case may be. But is anything she said right or wrong? Most of the things she said had merit, actually. You know. Yes.
Yeah.
See?
I missed Curmudgeon response, but
yeah.
I know all he had to say was a black man killed my granddad. Yeah, he ain't proved none of that yet. But he wants you to prove that you jumped out of a parachute, did the parachute thing.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah,
but he ain't gave no evidence on because to me, like I said, I like the Trump getting his ear shot off. I ain't seen no burn up ear, but I ain't seen no evidence that could make me believe that a black man in the 40s had a damn gun.
Yeah.
But let me get on to the subject matter at hand. This lady that you had playing, what part did she lie about, Kevin?
I said hyperbolous, not necessarily.
What part was the hyperbole part?
A lot of it was. I mean,
now give me something that stood out. You mentioned that some of it was.
I do not believe. First of all, you know the one question she did all that talking, but do you know the one person that she never blamed for any of this?
Who?
Well, think about it. Who did she not blame? She blamed the people. Trump. What Trump got to do with it?
She didn't blame. You said who she did not blame. She did not blame. She called Trump, man.
Who conspired to send people, black people, from the United States to the United States, or that whole slavery thing? Who conspired with those people to get it done?
You're speaking about the African folks.
You're damn right I'm speaking about them. No. They don't get, see, we give them a pass. Well, they didn't know.
All right, they're part of it too, so what else? What else you got? Okay, what else you got? What else you got?
Wait. They were the biggest part of it. How they had the unmitigated gall to tell the people who came over there which.
Okay, Cam, we heard all that before. But at the end of the day, let's move forward, Cam. Let's move forward then. Okay. Let's come to this America, this Christian nation. Let's come to this Christian nation. Hold up, Cam. You want to switch it up to the black folks?
No, I don't.
Let me go. Let me make my point and let you do the other call. Let me talk. Can I talk?
No.
Can I get my time in?
Let me. I'm gonna let you get your time in. But do you realize that if we didn't call ourselves Christians, nobody would have owed black folks anything. So it is because of that Christian religion that people found in their conscience to try to do the right thing, even though they didn't always do it, and we ain't always did it either. But take away Christianity, brother, and to the victor go the spoils.
Okay, can I go now?
Now go right ahead.
None interrupted now.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
And you ain't got all day to do this either, so just
all right,
3
you
minutes.
be quiet. Let me do me. Okay. All right. That lady, she read off all this stuff, okay? I'm gonna relate to some. I'm gonna compare some of this stuff with she said is in the Bible, okay? Right? When you agree, half stuff she spoke about is recorded in the Bible, telling us how to live. The Bible is basically telling people how to live, right?
Okay.
You can answer a question along the way, sir. Right?
Okay.
Okay. So when we go, when whoever sent these people here, like the Epstein people who did this to these girls, that nobody came forward and said I was guilty or whatever yet. But this is a Christian nation, okay?
No, we're not.
They teach you when you come here.
We are not a Christian nation.
We were told.
Well, what you told and what you are not saying.
See, Cal, if you want to argue me, let me make my point. You can argue.
Well, get the facts straight. We are not a theocracy.
You trying to.
Well, get the facts right. We are
check
not.
Me along the way. You don't check the mud and the rest of them.
We are not a theocracy.
But Cal, let me finish here. Okay, this is supposed to be. I hear all the time that this is a Christian nation. I heard from the president and all the other folks. Well, they may be lying about it, but they said it. Okay, the vice president, all of them say this is a Christian nation. We found on our founders, it founded as Christian nation. Okay, so with that said, let me move on. With that said, the Klans and all of them, when they beat the hell out of these black folks and burnt the houses down, they saying God. They're reading the Bible and did it in the church and dragging people out of the churches and doing all this evil stuff to people in the name of Christianity.
Would you call them Christians?
They did it in the name of Christianity, Kevin.
Would you call them Christians? Would you call them Christians?
Would I call them Christians? I call them hypocrites like I call them hypocrites.
Exactly. So Jessica,
but what I'm saying now, Kevin, my point is to you, sir, that the European American came over here and said that this can be our religion, Christianity. All other religions not going to be recognized under us.
Why do we get the Africans to pass?
But what I'm saying now, after these people got here, they are Americans, okay? We supposed to be treated as Americans.
No, they weren't.
As say in the Bible, and as say in our Constitution and all this stuff she just read off, dude. Some of this is in the Bible now.
We were not Americans when we first got here.
Treat your brother man well. That's in the Bible. Treat your people like you want to be treated.
I gotta go. You just rambling on. I gotta go. Okay. First of all, we're not a theocracy. We're not a Christian nation. We have people that call themselves Christians. Okay, the predominant religion in this country, quote unquote, is Christianity. But that don't make you a Christian. So if a horse thinks he's a pig, does that make him a pig? No, he's still a horse. So again, we're not a Christian there, but we like to use it every once in a while when we're trying to make a point that's relevant or not relevant, however you want to do it. The problem I had is that the Africans never get brought up in this conversation. The people who put a group of people, help put them on a boat and send them over here because they thought that our forefathers were not worthy, I guess, of being respected as human beings. So the black folks over there did the same thing that the white folks did. The white folks came to get them. The Africans gave them to them. So we always let them off the hook. As a matter of fact, hell, in Africa right now, they're still killing one another, kind of like we're doing over here. So again, a lot of things she said were okay. But I will tell you this much: had it not been for that belief system of Christianity, a lot of things in this country would be a whole lot differently, and I would dare to say that it wouldn't be as good as it is. Okay, so thank God we got people here. Okay. Oh, and here I got a guy here. It was the white colonizers more than the Africans. Really? So you think a couple white guys came over to Africa and got all them black folks over here without help from the Africans? Really? No, I don't believe so. I'm just saying, don't give them a pass, okay? Don't give them a pass. They were just as much responsible for the position that black folks were in the United States as any white guy was, okay? I mean, they were. I don't want to argue this morning. I just wanted to see some of the things the lady said was true. Martin Luther King said America wrote a check and it came back insufficient funds. They did. But on the other hand, and I'm someone, and I'm not the only person that done this, so don't get me wrong. I have been to a lot of places in my younger life. I still say, if you're a black person in the world and you get here, there is a great possibility, if you are willing to do what you're willing to do, what you have to do, you can become anything you want to come. One of the richest guys in technology is a black man. Okay, our athletes make all kinds of money. Okay, someone said Africans are also enslaving Europeans. Yes, was named John Hawkins. Yes, who John Hawkins? I think I heard of him. Even the former vice president candidate for the former vice president of the United States, was she whatever name, Kamala, whatever. Her grandfather had 1,500 slaves in Jamaica or Bahamas, one of those places. So white folks are not the only one that had slavery. It's been around, and it's still going over in the Mideast. Okay, it's still going on over there. So, you know, America is one of the few places where you started off as a slave, but you are pretty much, if you're willing to put in the work, you can be comparable to any white person in the United States. And over here, though, it takes money. You know, that is the language of our time. It's money. But you also got to be willing to put in the work. So I've been a lot of places, a lot of countries, and I looked at some of those places, especially when I went down to Mexico years ago when I was stationed in Fort Bliss, Texas. You know, I said, when people sat outside waiting for you to give them a dime, not a dollar, but a dime, so they could buy something. This was some 40 years ago or something like that. You know, that's a shame. Okay, so again, let's not give the Africans over there a pass. They helped. Okay, they helped. Okay, and so I don't, you know, all I can say, I'm thank God that I wasn't born to 1957 rather than 1857. Okay, I just thank God 100 years later I was born. I'm good. So I don't have any. So I love this country. There's not another country in the whole wide world that I'd want to live in. None. Absolutely none. Even in the UK right now, you know, they can put you in jail for saying something nasty about the Queen, for saying something nasty even about some of their politicians. You can go to jail. 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 American, you can say all kinds of things about anybody you want to. Trust me, I've been a victim of it. Well, I hear you, Ed. Ed says, but what you fail to realize, we are all slaves now. The rich own us all because of lies. Well, I don't know which lie you're talking about, but okay. Can we get out of slavery in America? You can't. It takes some work. And it takes some work. It takes a work, a lot of prayers, but a whole lot of work. It takes it. And again, America is the in between thing, because there are places right now in the world they still got slaves. So, yeah, you can. Well, I don't know. You can't go to court in America for talking about the president. At least not that I know of. Not yet. Because that were the case, I'd probably be in jail. So anyway, I only showed you that because there's an attitude sometimes in this country that I don't quite understand. Sure, again, I've often said we are a great country, but we are not a perfect one. We've never been perfect. We never will be. We'll do wrong things. We'll make bad decisions, even for the people. That's why it's important who you put in office. That's why it's important. You have a right to determine. Well, a lot of countries don't have. Why do black leaders hate Jews? Listen. I've asked myself that. I've asked myself that. I don't. I think unless somebody does something to me, I don't hate them for nothing. I don't really hate people to begin with. I don't know. I don't know if that statement is true. I've heard Mr. Farrakhan say he don't hate Jews. So I don't know where that statement came from. I know a lot of black folks, and I know a lot of people that are Jewish people, and they don't hate them. They don't hate anybody. So I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Why do white leaders hate blacks? Okay, again, I don't know any white leaders, me personally, that hate black folks. Okay, I don't know, and maybe I'm always somewhere in the middle. I'm always somewhere in the middle. There's a little right and a little wrong on all of these statements. Okay, it's like the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Two different sides of the same coin. Okay, different sides of the same coin. So I don't know. Again, it's a conversation that, and until we get done with it, it's always going to divide us. It is always going to divide us. And the internet has made it worse. There's a reason why they call things the past. P-A-S-T. There's a reason why they call it the past. Because we hope we learn from it and don't continue to do the same thing we've always done. Well, that's true. People hate people. So, except me, I don't hate anybody. I don't hate anybody. Even the guy who walked out of the house with my TV that one time. I came in the house, he was walking out the back door with the TV. And, good for him. I mean, it was a heavy TV. It was for these nice little TVs and not heavy. I mean, you had to be kind of strong to steal a TV back in the day. Where do you take a TV anyway? If you walk into my house and steal a TV, where do you take it? Pawn shop don't want it. So where do you take it? I don't know. I'm kind of lost on that one right there. But moving on to other things, I just thought I would share that because why do black leaders hate Asians? I don't know any that do. I don't know a black leader that would hate anybody, that hates anybody. But anyway, now if you know some, tell them to call me up. Let's talk about it. Because I don't hate absolutely nobody. Africans were also enslaving Europeans. Well, they shouldn't have went over there. I mean, listen, they believe in trees do things, okay? Hey, one more, talking about trees. Somebody told me the other day that there are female trees and male trees. Has anybody ever heard that in their life? If you forget your history, you are bound to repeat it. And if you don't forget your past, you're bound to repeat it. I hear you. You don't forget it, but you certainly don't live back there. Okay, you don't. And what's happening now that will make you think that we are still tethered to the past? We tether our own. What we've done, we've taken a belt, put it around our waist, and attached the other side to the past. So no matter what happens, and that's white and black people, no matter what happens, we can always go back there. Because they can show you that on the other end of that belt is the past. We can always go back there and blame it for everything that you didn't do. We can always blame the past for you not being successful. And the truth of the matter is, most of the time that you're in a bad situation, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. That's the person who is 100% responsible most of the time for where you are. Like me, working for Cumulus for 24 years, never put any money in the 401k, or 501k, whatever that thing is called, because my stupid self thought it was only for managers, because I was only working part-time. So for 24 years, I worked there, and I could, I could, if I wanted to, I could make a case for suing them. Why didn't y'all tell me what that was? Because I was ignorant. I just didn't know. I just didn't, because the only time I'd seen 501ks or 401k, whatever, only time I ever seen those given out were the full-time people who got a full-time job and who got that as a benefit. So I didn't know it was for and I was a part-timer at Cumulus all those years. So I can't, I can't blame anybody. And that's, it makes you more angry when you're the blame than when it's somebody else. At least if somebody else is to blame, you can sort of blame them. But when you blame everybody else for the things that you're to blame for, then you're not being intellectually honest. Okay, intellectually honest. And another good point to date that has been made by my good friend, the first sergeant. Again, I knew nothing. I had never been. Yeah, there's an election on August 11th too. I had never been on, what's the name of that hill? King Hill. Never been up there. As far as I'm concerned, it was an island all by itself. Never been up there. Because I didn't have any reason to go. Never been to Ferguson. Never been to Newtown. I just didn't have any reason to go. But once you get out and you look around and you become now I've seen things that I won't forget now. Okay, since I went on this journey, I've seen things that I can't forget now. I've seen people living in ways that I thought didn't exist since the 1930s. People didn't live that way. I just there are things going on in this city, and I would imagine in Mobile, I would imagine in Birmingham, probably in the rural area, I would imagine there are lots of people who still live almost like a squatter's life. We pay too much money. We pay too much taxes for anybody to have to live that way. But there are people who live that way. And all we can do right now, do our best to make them comfortable or help them out. One of the things I would love to have as a city council person, I would love to have a department that looks out after older citizens. We got the OVP. How about the OAP? The old age. How about the OA, the old age department to look out after our senior citizens? Okay, with that, I would rather spend money on that than the OVP, because the OVP ain't stopping crime. Although, listen, I'm gonna give Rotyrus her props. I do believe she's trying to do some stuff, but these folks around here, they're not gonna change their ways. They're not gonna change their ways until something desperately happens to them. End up shot, end up in jail, whatever the case may be. They're not gonna change their ways. But old folks who paved the path for us, we need an OAP, an old age department to look out after they do. Make sure they got food. Make sure you work with the what you call those places that give away food. They got them in mind. I forgot exactly what it was called, but they give. If you need food, you can go to them and get food. Churches go to them, places like that. Work with the churches. See who's getting food from the food pantry and all that kind of stuff. See who's getting. I would listen. That's the best $250,000 that we can spend. More government program. That's always a solution. Food pantry. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Dr. Joe. I'm gonna go with Joe Reed on this one. Joe Reed Sr. I'm gonna go with him on this one. Government is there to create an environment that allows you to prosper. Okay? It allows you to prosper without any anything, because they take our tax money right now and do all kind of weird things with it without even us having any inkling of idea. Some of the things, you know, there was a study done, paid for by the U.S. government, why cows fart. Okay, and we found out that cows fart a lot because of the many stomachs that they have. They fart. They just fart out the wazoo. I mean, they fart so much until it changes the smell of the air. Okay, we actually paid for that type of study. Okay, so well, I'm not talking about in D.C. I'm talking about here in Montgomery. Okay, I'm talking about here in Montgomery. Replace the OVP with the OAP. Okay, old age help. We call it OAH, old age help. That's what some of these people have worked their butts off, have been here for years, put up with the crap, 80, 90-year-old people. I'm more worried about them than I am people, Leroy and Bubba out there fighting every day. That's what I see in District 3. Okay, we can have a place where if you're too old to cut your grass, rather than the city going up there giving you all these tickets and trying to take your damn house, let's send somebody up there to cut the grass. Let's hire some kids, or let's let the people in jail who probably would love getting out go get outside and go cut some grass for people. Okay, we got insurance. All right, we got insurance. We can pay for it if they do something stupid. But anyway, I've always been an advocate for the old age people, the people who paved the way for everybody else, whether you're white or black. People paved the way for everybody else. That's what I wish we had. The OVP, listen, Roe, congratulations, I salute you, but it ain't doing no good. Okay, take that $250,000 and help some old folks. Help some folks who need a roof on their thing. We can probably have a relationship with people who do roofs, so we get it done cheaper, or and things of that nature. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Yellow.
Why can't churches members, why can't their congregation, why can't they pick a certain where their church is, and the church and the members of the church go out there and cut the grass and do that?
I think that's a great idea too, but you can't make them do it because you ain't paying them, so you can't make them do it. But I hear you. I hear you. Yeah. So.
Hey, you asked what did you get from the lady who wants to charge the United States?
Yeah.
Two things I got. One, there were a whole lot of bad Democrats back then. They were in charge, and they were doing all that stuff. And then the other thing is, she had the right to say that. She had the right to charge the United States.
No, that's true. Yeah.
If she was in another country,
especially Tehran and Iran, you can't do that. So.
Well, there's a lot of places she can't speak out like that. I mean, look over in
the UK, with the Queen. You can't say all the kind of things you want to say over there. So
exactly. So she certainly has the right to say that, and I support her right to say whatever she wants to say. But she given that right by people that fought and died for her to have that right.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of folks got the blood been spoiled, so she could say it, and I ain't got no problem with her saying it. I disagree with a bunch of it, but she has a right to say it. Somebody said you'll be called a socialist, Kevin. Well, I may be called a socialist, and so be it. I don't have a problem. I think you do what your own conscience tells you to do what's right, and whether people call what the names they call you don't really matter. I don't care. These people paid paved the way for us to do all kinds of things, especially for me. And I do think we ought to have an apartment, a department in the city that I didn't say do the roofing. I didn't say do the OVP. How about the Office of Volunteerism? Anybody who wants to volunteer their skills to help people out in the community, why not have an office where you can put them together with somebody else? Office of Volunteerism. That's what we need. Do we have an office like that? I don't think we do. I think I'm going to replace the OVP with the OVP, the Office of Volunteerism Programs. Yeah. Mechanics, sheet rockers, people want to cut your grass and all that stuff. And you would think in our communities, with all the churches we got, one per corner, that we'd have people out there doing that already. I don't know, but especially kids for the summertime, have a fun where we pay them. Yeah, I don't care about calling it socialist because most of us believe in socialism. We just don't like to call it that. Social security. Okay. If you only got out of Social Security what you put in there, it probably wouldn't last you 20 years. Okay, but for people who are living a long time still getting Social Security, right on. Let me see here now. Hello, who's this?
Morning, Kevin. This is Black Rose. How are you this morning? And hello to your audience.
I'm doing fine.
I want people to look and see what's really going on in the news, especially when it's dealing with politics. If I'm speaking about black people, white people itself, because that's who really built this country, black and white people together. Now, if we do not see that the Democratic Party has been taken over by socialists, then I don't even know. We can't. What's going on? Do we see what's going on? That the Democratic Party has always been a socialist party. They're just coming out with the clear blue sky and admitting it now.
I don't know if the party has, or too many of the people who call themselves Democrats have. I don't know that for sure. I know that the leadership of the Democratic Party don't believe in socialism. Now, some of their proteges, some of their members do, because for them it sounds very romantic. It sounds romantic to be a socialist,
Okay.
Give everybody everything. You can't give everybody everything. And now, even in New York, now guess what? The old man Dammy, whatever hell his name is, has decided that, we can't afford to give everybody everything in our government stores. So now you got to qualify to go to the government store, just like you got to qualify to get food stamps.
Because these people want you to depend on them by having these government-ran grocery stores. Now, what party wants to castrate young boys and flip young girls? The Democratic Party, they all for it.
Yeah.
They for abortion. They are completely against the Most High, completely against, even if you're a Christian. I don't have a religion. I'm just speaking because the majority of this United States is Christian. They are completely against a Christian. They want to flip everything around and do all these type of things. Want to have men and women bathrooms, men and women sports. Who are doing these type of things? The Democratic Party. And they look at you when you speak up against it because you're black. And they think you're supposed to be a Democrat. But I'm clearly looking at these people always been socialists. They're coming out with it. Martin Luther King was a socialist. Nobody even knows that. He never spoke about God for real and what Christians should do. He was all about give, take, and just want to push. Everybody was doing fine until this guy comes along. Why was it so important? These people were always socialists, and now they want to take what's yours. That's what Madonna is doing. And that's what the Democratic Party was doing. But now the old Democrats have been replaced with the socialist Democrats.
Well, they're not really socialists. They're just in love with an idea they know nothing about. Because socialism is intertwined with our republic. I mean, it is. Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security. We have socialist tendencies involved, and thank God we do, because if we did not have some tendencies going that way, there are a lot of folks would be dead right now because we wouldn't be taken care of. So
that's because you have to say that's because of tax-paying dollars.
Right.
Because we work everybody works, pays taxes. Even when you buy things, you have to pay taxes. Mm-hmm. Even with people who get an EBT, it's tax on it. You don't see it, but the federal government does. But these people are able to come in and take that away and use that and flip that and fraud of the government. They're doing all these things. They're able to get in, come in, and do exactly what we are unable to do. How is that?
Well, because they got everybody's money.
Because you have the wrong people in government. It is some type of infiltration in there that was there. It is terrible what's going on now. And black people just need to wake up. We need God first. Forget the government, y'all. You should have put God first. We should have kept God in our home. That's what we should have did instead of the government. We left God alone and made the government our God, and look at us today. I clearly see what's going on today. Mm-hmm. If we don't stop right now, this is a black and white thing right now. I don't see nothing wrong with what Trump is doing. The only thing I'm looking at around is that, put that to the side, that Iran war, that right there, we just really panicking. Everybody should be paying attention and forget what's going on with this Nolan Wales and all this race-baited crap that they created. It's a good thing that those people, random people out of Mississippi, because I look at it like this. People that does things like that, they need to go to jail for race-baiting and starting riots when it comes to different cities and towns and stuff like that. Because if they started here, I think that I'm going to press charges on them for race-baiting and trying to incite a riot. If anybody push it here.
Yeah.
It's just the point that we as black and white people need to see what's going on. These Muslims and these Islam countries and all these people are coming in and they are able to take over the United States. They're taking over the government.
Well, it does seem that we're allowing people whose views are inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States.
Yes, they refuse
to run off, and I just don't know how you do that in America. How you allow people to hold public office whose beliefs are inconsistent with our Constitution.
Absolutely.
But I listen. I know they're doing it in Michigan. But,
this not only Michigan, I'm just glad that Alabama, and I'm going to say this is a red state, and we're not allowing that type of crap to come over here. So AOC said she want to step down here again with her group. So we're going to find, she's going to F around and find out if she decides to come down here with her crap. We already have issues down here in the South. We don't need their Madonna crap. This is, well, if you believe it or you're a Christian, you said you're a Christian.
Yeah.
I don't have a religion, but you know what, Kevin? I'm going to say this before I hang up. I believe there are 3 different types of people. There's good, bad, and evil.
Yeah.
I don't believe in race anymore. That's all I see now. Good, bad, and evil. That's how we have to look at it now. We have to look at we are really in danger because these people are taking over the government, and it's hard to get them out of office. Look at this lady over here, and what's her name? From Somalia, whatever she's from. Those doggone pirates that just tore up Minneapolis. We're over close to what? How are you able to come here and do that and she's still running her mouth? You can't get them out. They know the Constitution better than we do.
Yeah. Well, hey.
These are pirates. These people believe in tribes, and that's what they did in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities over there. Now, I'm so glad Trump done broke it up. I'm glad Trump shutting down all, and everybody want to say black people was getting all this EBT. Now y'all see who the black people were getting all this EBT. All these other immigrants coming in, claiming to be black, the Haitians, the Somalians, all these different groups of people. Maybe we will see something happen better if we get these type of people out of here. Because if you're not putting in, what are you doing here? You're not helping the United States. But I sound like a fool for speaking up for my country.
Okay, I got to appreciate it. I'm kind of glad Jasmine Crockett lost. I'll have to see how that works out. How that works out. I mean, she raised baited too. She raised baited. Smart woman, but at some point we have to start dealing from an intellectual level rather than emotionalism. I just think at some point we need to have a conversations with intelligence rather than emotion, and I think we'll get a whole lot further in our communications than we are now. Because no matter who gets in office, somebody's going to complain. Like whoever wins this District 3 box, somebody's going to complain about it, no matter who wins. Okay? Somebody said life is hard, it's even harder when you're stupid. Yeah, it probably. Although you don't know it's hard when you're stupid because you're stupid. See, and being stupid has been defined as having the mentality of a 3-year-old. So yeah, so you don't know it's hard when you're stupid. Okay. You're right, sister. That Trump administration is taking SSI, Medicare, Medicaid, and giving it to the rich. Well, I don't know that to be so, but we'll see. I mean, Medicaid and Medicare. I don't really know the difference between the two. One, I don't know. I don't even know the difference between the two. I haven't used it yet. I haven't, and I haven't used that card they gave me, that blue and red, white, and blue card. What you want to do?
Okay, I want to respond to that lady talking about the Democrats going to be socialist. Trump don't want to be socialist. He want to call it.
This is a
he wants to call it communist. Okay, I know. Okay. I know you can't handle the truth sometimes. But anyway, Trump wants to call it communist. So, but he hangs out with that guy from China. I think China into that communist stuff like that. But anyway, tell me, Miss Lady, I want her to call in one day and tell her what in the hell Trump done for you. Why you all up in the conservatives and Republican butt, lady? What have they done for the people? I mean, I'll take a billy goat right now over what we got in the White House, man. Give me anything. I even take them trans folks, that people dogs out all the time. I take them over what we got now. As long as they can tell us that they can help us with this insurance a little bit and with this gas and food and other items, and keep us out of wars and keep your son out of the war. Mr. Elkins, you want your son to go over there and fight this idiotic war?
That's his job. If he's actually doing it, that's his job. That's his job.
What would you be happy about that thing? About him fighting this stupid war, right? This war that doesn't have any meaning to it. Because Israel, your precious, this lady caller that probably called, she all probably all up in Israel ass too, like the rest of them. But she had not one time came over here and said what the hell Trump done for the blacks. Okay? Can't even put one on his damn cabinet. Tim Scott looked like a damn idiot all the time. Then he came out a few months ago and said, that's the most racist thing I ever heard. So I've been white. I'm gonna talk to him and he came on the fucking back. Okay, but I want her to call in and give me some stuff that makes any black or any white that wants to vote for Trump right now at 34% damn approval rating, lady.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Okay, and again, given the same people that ran against them. If the ballot came out the same way, I'd vote for the guy again. Do I like everything he does? No. As a matter of fact, sometimes he gets on my absolute nerve. He's not as smart as I thought he was. I thought he was a really shrewd and intellectual guy, but I don't think he is. But Medicare from the federal government and Medicaid it's the state. Oh, okay. So you can actually get both of them at the same time? So if you're getting it from the federal government, why would you need it from the state? Or if you're getting it from the state, why would you need it from the federal government? So I don't understand. So aren't we duplicating? Wouldn't we be duplicating services? Or or do you get more money from the feds than you do from the state? I don't really know. I've never been on, never had any. I don't know what it is. Okay. Mr. Ed is the man. That's true. Anyway, so much for that. Turn radio down. Turn y'all's radio down. That's what you ought to do something. Yeah, when y'all listen, you have to turn down what you're listening on, because it gives everybody else feedback. But anyway, so much for the things, and there's a couple other things. But people have asked me, and people have asked me, why are you running for District 3? I want a part in changing the culture of Montgomery to a better culture. I want a part in changing the violence that goes on in our city. I try to change it anyway. And the way to do that is to change the culture. Now, it will not be it will not be a quick fix, but it is something that we can stand. When I got here in this is not the same city. When I got here, Medicare is for people. Oh, okay, that's what that is. Oh, okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. This is not the same city that it was when I got here. Okay. I don't know what happened to us. That hip hop generation has come aboard, and we pretty much have surrendered to their wishes or their misguided views. So something happened. How do you change the culture? Now that right there is a great question. I've been asking that question for 2 weeks. How do you change the culture? One of the ways, if I have my way, and if I can get other people to agree with me, if I have my way, one of the ways we're going to change some of this culture, hopefully, is if your child is 17 years old and below, and they're out there doing things, every time they come to court, you got to come with them. And at some point, if he shows a pattern, then you'll do the time for him in jail, or her. Okay? And another thing, you won't be able to and take this thing where kids think all they got to do is get on the phone and call DHR and they're going to come lock you up. We need to see, nothing is the same since 91. That's true. But I believe if we hit people where it hurts, and that's the pocket, if we make your mother or your dad have to get off work and come to court with you, and if they don't, we put a bench warrant out for them. Somebody's got to take responsibility for the knuckleheads that are going around here shooting at people, robbing people's homes, damaging their cars, and everybody's got a father. You may not have a daddy, but everybody's got a father. We need to start holding these men accountable to the fullest extent of the law and the mama for the expectation. Now, there are some guys who won't pay attention to their parents. I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. And so it would be my hope that we can get the legislature to say, hey, listen, if you've shown you've done your due diligence to make this young man mine, to make him toe the rope, and he has not done it, you have counseling statement where you sit down and talk to him just like the Army. We'll give you a counseling statement. We'll have you sign it so you can't say you don't know it. You've been talked to. All kinds of things. You've called DYS, asked them, could you keep them out there for a weekend or whatever? I mean, if you've done all these things and your child is still crazy, then you ought to put them in DYS for a while. But if you've shown that you have tried, because boys, when they get a certain age, they ain't really studying their mama very much. I didn't. Even when she whooped me, it didn't hurt. I just cried for the hell of it because I wanted her to think that I was hurt. It didn't hurt, you know. So you know, you have to do things differently, and we need to do something different, okay? And we really do. You cannot do the same things the way you've always done them and expect different results. And we need to start holding these parents. It's not enough just to have the baby so you can get a check, either from your 6 baby daddies or whatever the case may be. It ain't enough. You need to understand that you are responsible for the actions of that child until he turns 18 years old, which means there's a possibility that you are going to pay for his wrongdoings. Okay? So that's one way to start changing the culture in our communities across America. Hold the parents responsible. And if the mama don't know who the daddy is, then when it's born, then make her put him up for adoption. Okay? I'm sorry. If you don't know who the daddy is, then you're not responsible enough to raise a child. You're just not. I didn't say you got to find a brother, but y'all need to put a pad beside the bed at night that says put your name and Social Security right there. Okay? If you want to enter into my palace, your name and Social Security right there. So just in case, you know, I get pregnant or something like that, then, you know, we know where to find you. And if a brother won't sign that paper, then you don't want him around. You don't, because he means you no good. Okay? There are things we can do. We can mandate people do. Okay? Because even wearing the even if you put a hat on that soldier down there, don't mean you won't get somebody pregnant. But our first thing is to remind parents, like that Georgia guy last week, he got 15 years for the actions of his child. Unfortunately, though, he took the lives of people who were 15. Okay, what's a YC? And what's an OC? I don't know what that is. So lock the YNs and the ONs up until they decide to change. I'm pretty good with that. But what's a YC? And what is what the hell is an OC? But anyway, the only way we're going to change it is start holding parents responsible for their kids. We don't care if you work in 2 or 3 jobs, because by the time you work in 2 or 3 jobs, if you haven't taught him to do the right thing by now, it's too late anyway. Okay? And that means everybody, white folks, black folks, everybody gets held accountable when your child does something. Absolutely. That's the only way to, because when you start taking money out of people's pockets, because they got to go to court today, and sooner or later, their boss gonna say, you know, you spend too much time going. I got to replace you. Okay, hey, so be it. You start taking money. I'm saying having a child is an awesome responsibility. Okay, it's tough, and you won't always get it all right. That's not the issue. Sometimes you'll get it wrong. So I'm just telling you that in order to change the culture, we have to change the mindset of parents. Okay, and we've done a piss poor job of doing that, changing that mindset of the parents. Parents think all you do is you drop them, you lop them, you leave them by themselves. You send them outside, or you let them go in the room and play a game, and that's it. You don't owe them no other discipline. Okay, and we ought to have a rule that everybody should have a paddle in their house. Can't make people do that though. But my oldest, Emmanuel, oh yeah. Yeah, buddy, I put the wood on him. Yes, I did. And I didn't care nothing about who he called and who he told. It didn't bother me at all. So that's how we change that's how we begin to change the culture. Well, men ain't been keeping it in their pants for a bunch of millenniums, okay? But we're still going to make you responsible for what you brought in here, whether you keep it in your pants or not. And here's something too. If you have a man that's been paying child support, now I ain't got nothing to do with this, it's got to have to be a state thing, but and you find out that the child ain't yours, so what? That's your problem. Shouldn't have been in there. Okay? If she wasn't your wife, which is what you're supposed to do, or your main squeeze, then you shouldn't have been in there. Make you pay anyway. They can pay child support anyway. And maybe that'll stop them from making 6 kids for 6 different women. Okay, so man said, I don't like having my thing in my pants. Okay, seriously, make them pay anyway. Even if you find out the child wasn't yours, the fact that you in the mix, that means you was in there anyway. Okay, stop going out on Saturday nights, just having a good time with somebody else, with a woman, and then try to forget all about her. Notice how correct, and make sure, and men, make sure that the woman you go with got a job. Okay. Okay, nothing's worse than a poor woman. Okay, get one with a job. Okay, at least she knows her responsibility, getting up every day, going to work. Okay, I'm just telling you. And old men, leave them young women alone. Okay, leave them young men. You ain't doing nothing for them no way. All they're doing is getting your check, your Social Security check. Leave them women alone. Spend your money on your grandkids or something like that. Okay, stop. Stop thinking you still 25 years old. You ain't 25. Hell, you ain't even 35, 45, or 55. Hell, some of y'all ain't even 65 no more. Out there chasing them young girls. Give me a break, okay? Better go to church somewhere. You know we in the fourth quarter. And sometimes don't make the referee sit there and run some time off the clock. So I'll leave you with this. I'll leave you what Dr. Rick Rigsby said that his grandfather or his dad would ask him all of the time. And I do believe that it makes you think. Okay, it makes you think. As your day comes to an end or gets started, ask yourself this question: how you living? How are you living? That will be the tale that will be told when things go all wrong.
Grateful heart with such sweet.
How are you living? What's that proposed federal law that once she is stated receiving prenatal services? I think that's a good idea. But that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to get our kids under control if we're gonna have any hope of changing this culture. Wouldn't it be nice where you could sit on your porch and don't have to worry about somebody coming down the street shooting a gun? Or if you accidentally left your door unlocked last night, not to worry about somebody that's going to come in, at least not your neighbor. We need to change this culture. And the best way to do it is hold parents responsible for Leroy, Bubba, John, Tamika, Shimimba, or whatever hell other name we naming our kids these days. That's the way to change our culture. And give the police the right to be policemen, not abuse anybody, but if you need to use some firm love, we need to do that. We got the police just as scared now as we are, because they don't want to lose their job because they're just doing their job. Being firm does not mean abuse, but it does mean when you hold him, he know he held. That's all I'm saying. Not putting knees on necks or knees in the middle of your back or anything like that. But when you hold him, he need to know he been held. Now, there's got to be some technology around here today that can accomplish that goal. Okay? enforce paternity once she has started receiving prenatal services. You know what? That is not a bad idea. Now you're gonna wait till the child gets in. So the woman's 9, she got 9 months in, and now you think you're gonna owe nothing, and then you're gonna yeah. I agree with that. Absolutely. Anyway, gotta go. It's been a great day. Don't forget to vote for me, District 3. I left a message on net. What's the name of that site? Neighborhood, whatever it is. Told me to call me and ask me questions. You know, I don't know none of the people that's running for District 3, but that's only because you have not tried to find out anything about them. Everybody's got a website, a Facebook page. Everybody's at least got a Facebook page. You can communicate. And next week, I am going to have. I'm going to have one of them on the show with me, which will be after Monday. We got this thing with KK Militant, and hold before I get off the air. Let me see what this thing is here, because he's doing this. KK is doing let me see where this thing is. He's doing. Hold on. KK Militant is doing a. Okay, here it is, right here. Let me make sure I see this for what it is. Let me see, because I think, all the, now everybody probably won't show up, but I'm going to show up like everybody. I mean, most of the people will show up. I think this is going to be a good exercise for the people who want to lead District 3 to the next millennium. Well, maybe not the next millennium, but you know what I mean. Gonna move them to the next phase. I said, I'm with you, KK, in a second. Let me see if I can find you though. Okay, there we go. Right there. Let me see. Let me see if I can get him on this thing here. Okay. So it's going to be August the 10th. And I think August 10th is, go to KK Militant's website. August 10th is going to be, I believe that's this coming Monday. And it's going to be, what time is it going to be? I don't know what time it's going to be. But I'll let you know on Monday, because I don't know what time. Yeah, I don't know what time it starts. Oh, 6 o'clock p.m. Okay, my bad. It starts at 6 o'clock p.m. August Monday, and it's going to be a situation where people who are running for District 3, and I'll give you the address and everything in a second here, where people are running for District 3, they'll be able to come and, you know, and give their views on a lot of the topics of today, and let you guys make an informed decision of who, you know, who you want to be. So that's KK, right? Is that KK right there? I think that's KK right there. Yeah, that's KK right there. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's it. So it's going to be on Monday, and it's going to start at 6 p.m. All the candidates have been invited, August the 10th. It's 51 Carroll Villa Drive, Montgomery, Alabama. It's a meet, greet, and learn more about the candidates. So for the folks over there on that website, I haven't met anybody. Well, that's because you ain't been out there trying to find nobody. You just want everybody to come to you. Sorry, I only got a limited amount of funds. I got to go. Oh, and next week I'll be on the. I'm going on Roscoe as a candidate this time. You know, we're going to talk a little bit about my vision, and it's called Heal Montgomery. Well, that's what we want. You know, we want to be healed. You know, it's August. It's Monday. I'm just saying it's going to be a good thing to try to do. Come on out. 51 Carroll Villa Drive, Montgomery, Alabama. Starts at 6 o'clock. Don't be late, because you know I'm not. And KK, who's really a decent man. He's a preacher. He preaches at 2 churches. He preaches, and he preaches in Tuskegee here. He's an educator now. I mean, he really is a good guy. I trust him. I don't trust most of the people put on these things. They all they want to do. They just kind of they just want to find all your faults, not your good things. So I'm just saying. You know, I'm just saying. Anyway, gotta go. So I guess the next time I talk to you guys will be, well, I guess it'll be Monday. And if I live and nothing happens, the good Lord shows me favor, we will be at this thing on Monday afternoon at 6 o'clock in the forum. Okay, and those are all the people that are. We invited more people. Mataski McCoy, Johnny Sankey, LaPon Carter, me, of course, DeAnthony Powell, Bibby Simmons, Michelle Summers, Justin Hampton, Mark Bailey, and I believe there's going to be and I believe there's going to be a couple more people. There's another white guy. I don't really know what his name is. Michelle Summers is going to be there, but Mark said he's going to be there. So we'll see who's there. I mean, listen, if you want free publicity, get your message out. Besides coming on my podcast, which I'll let anybody come on if they want to. It doesn't bother me. I'm not scared. People are going to vote for whom they want to vote for, so let them do that. But sometime next week we're going to have Michelle. But Monday we're going to have this thing at starting at 6 o'clock. So y'all need to come out and if you're in District 3, you got a car probably, and I think it's going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be broadcast either Facebook Live or something. You hope it will be so people can see. At least some of the people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we got 14 people. So we got 6 people that's running that's not on here at the moment. Hopefully they will show up. They will. If not, I'm gonna call them cowards. Cowards. Because if you can't handle the little stuff, how you gonna handle the big stuff? Okay, that's just my thing. Anyway, I want to thank Rita Pearson for coming by today, for giving us one more time. Every child needs a champion. For the kids going back to school today, I got to play that one more time before I leave, because I think people need to hear that. He's a freaking hateful racist. Who's a hateful racist? Who are you talking about? Who? Not KK. Not that I know of. Not that I know of. So let me play this one more time, because I think it is a interesting. I think it's an interesting thing. We're gonna leave out with Rita Pearson. Everybody, every child needs a champion. We'll be back tomorrow, Monday. Bye.
Spent my entire life either at the schoolhouse, on the way to the schoolhouse, or talking about what happens in the schoolhouse. Both my parents were educators. My maternal grandparents were educators. And for the past 40 years, I've done the same thing. And so needless to say, over those years, I've had a chance to look at education reform from a lot of perspectives. Some of those reforms have been good. Some of them have been not so good. And we know why kids drop out. We know why kids don't learn. It's either poverty, low attendance, negative peer influences. We know why. But one of the things that we never discuss, or we rarely discuss, is the value and importance of human connection. Relationships. James Comer says that no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. George Washington Carver says all learning is understanding relationships. Everyone in this room has been affected by a teacher or an adult. For years, I have watched people teach. I have looked at the best, and I've looked at some of the worst. A colleague said to me one time, they don't pay me to like the kids. They pay me to teach a lesson. The kids should learn it. I should teach it. They should learn it. Case closed. Well, I said to her, you know, kids don't learn from people they don't like. She said, that's just a bunch of hooey. And I said to her, well, your year is going to be long and arduous, dear. Needless to say, it was. Some people think that you can either have it in you to build a relationship or you don't. I think Stephen Covey had the right idea. He said you ought to just throw in a few simple things, like seeking first to understand as opposed to being understood. Simple things like apologizing. You ever thought about that? Tell a kid you're sorry, they're in shock. I taught a lesson once on ratios. I'm not real good with math, but I was working on it. And I got back and looked at that teacher edition. I taught the whole lesson wrong. So I came back to class the next day and I said, look, guys, I need to apologize. I taught the whole lesson wrong. I'm so sorry. They said, that's okay, Miss Pearson. You were so excited. We just let you go. I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wondered, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? And it was difficult. It was awfully hard. How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? One year I came up with a bright idea. I told all my students, you were chosen to be in my class because I am the best teacher and you are the best students. They put us all together so we could show everybody else how to do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really? We have to show the other classes how to do it. So when we walk down the hall, people will notice us. So you can't make noise. You just have to strut. And I gave him a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress, and places to go. And they said, yeah. You say it long enough, it starts to be a part of you. And so I gave a quiz, 20 questions. Student missed 18. I put a +2 on this paper and a big smiley face. He said, Miss Pearson, is this an F? I said, yes. He said, then why'd you put a smiley face? I said, because you on the roll. You got 2 right, you didn't miss them all. I said, and when we review this, won't you do better? He said, yes, ma'am, I can do better. You see, -18 sucks all the life out of you. +2 said, I ain't all bad. For years, I watched my mother take the time at recess to review, go on home visits in the afternoon, buy combs and brushes and peanut butter and crackers to put in her desk drawer for kids that needed to eat, and a washcloth and some soap for the kids who didn't smell so good. See, it's hard to teach kids who stink. And kids can be cruel. And so she kept those things in her desk, and years later, after she retired, I watched some of those same kids come through and say to her, you know, Miss Walker, you made a difference in my life. You made it work for me. You made me feel like I was somebody when I knew at the bottom I wasn't. And I want you to just see what I've become. And when my mama died 2 years ago at 92, there were so many former students at her funeral. It brought tears to my eyes, not because she was gone, but because she left a legacy of relationships that could never disappear. Can we stand to have more relationships? Absolutely. Will you like all your children? Of course not. And you know your toughest kids are never absent. Never. You won't like them all, and the tough ones show up for a reason. It's the connection. It's the relationships. And while you won't like them all, the key is they can never, ever know it. So teachers become great actors and great actresses, and we come to work when we don't feel like it, and we listen to policy that doesn't make sense, and we teach anyway. We teach anyway because that's what we do. Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion? Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Is this job tough? You betcha. Oh, God, you betcha. But it is not impossible. We can do this. We're educators. We're born to make a difference. Thank you so much.